I don't know if you guys notice, if you can come on in, Doc, a little bit. If you guys notice what's going on with his glasses, he's got this tube right here, this little straw. And this is what you see through it, isn't it, Doc?
Yes, sir.
So he's banged his head on people's fists a couple times, and he's whooped a lot of people. And due to things that have happened in his life, to include all the fighting, there's some eye damage, right? So he sees through this little thing. Now understand something. Doc just did, I think, an incredibly good job on this very hard test. And he's looking through really what I have visually. He has a fraction visually of what the average person does. Do you know how much?
I don't have any central vision, so whatever I'm looking at is gone. Like, you don't have a head now.
So he gets to see through that. Now think about this. He's using a handgun shooting at a modern day playing card, which is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Hey guys, Adam Winch here with Defenders USA. I'm here to show you something I think is pretty cool. You've seen our ace card drill, right? Where you shoot one shot in sub 2 seconds from 10 yards, and then you shoot 5 shots from 10 yards in sub 5 seconds, okay? So we got the 1 shot and the 5 shot, and you do it on a regular modern day standard size playing card. Well, we've diluted it down to this target right here with all the explanations on here that you need, and it's a way to build up to the 10-yard shot. Now you can go to our website, which is defenders-usa.com. You can go to our website and you can go to the tab that says downloads, and you can download this target for free. Okay, now let me explain this real quick. I'm going to show you because we're going to shoot this one just so you can see what it's like. Okay, so you start out at 3 yards shooting 1 shot at this first card right here. Okay, just 3 yards is completely untimed. Just can you hit the card? Then you shoot 5 shots at the second card here. So it's labeled 1 shot and 5 shots. It's totally untimed. It's just, can you do it? Then from there on out, we put everything on the clock. Once you've passed that, then from 3 yards, you on the clock from concealment, you've got to draw and fire 1 round here in sub 2 seconds. So 1.99 or less. On the second one, then you got to do it in sub 5 seconds or 4.99 or less. You got to draw from 3 yards and fire 5 rounds to 5. Now, granted, if you pass that stage, you get to move to, if you see it on the paper, you get to move to 5 yards. And it's again, 1 shot sub 2 and 1 shot sub 5 seconds, or 5 shots sub 5 seconds. Then you go to 7. 1 shot sub 2, 5 shots sub 5 seconds. Then you go to the big daddy of it all, which is from 10 yards from concealment, draw and fire 1 round at the first card in sub 2 seconds and 5 rounds in sub 5 seconds from 10 yards from concealment at the 5-shot card. If you do this totally through and you pass all the way through, it's a total of 30 rounds. Now, here's the rules to this. If at any point you don't make it, wherever it is in there, you are done. There's no going on. It just tells you where you are in your skill, and you can go download this from our website and you can try this out. So it's free, guys. Go get this off our website and give this a try. That's what I'm going to do now. All right, so here's why I was trying to do this quickly. I've got a camera recording in the sun for the target, and it just says the temperature's too high. So in that short time frame, it killed off my camera. So we're gonna let this thing cool down, but I'll shoot and I'll just let you see it on the target later here. So we're gonna go ahead and shoot it. You've heard the description. I'm starting at 3 yards, 1 round to the 1-shot card, 5 rounds to the 5-shot card, no time limit whatsoever, right? On each one of these stages, because we're starting at 3, ultimately we're going to 5, 7, and 10. If at any point in time you have 1 bad draw, you get 1 alibi, okay? So don't fight through a bad draw on the first one. Fix it on the second one. By the second one, you got to go, okay? And when I say an alibi is if you crack the shot, that doesn't work. It's only if you draw and don't fire. So if you need your alibi, take your alibi, okay? This is really an exercise in mental, emotional, tactile, and visual presence, right? Are you connected to the gun well? Did you index on the target well? Do you have a good grip on the gun? Are you using the trigger right? And are your sights or your dot where it needs to be before you fire the shot, right? Or is it going to it as you fire the shot? shot, so it's predictively falling into it. So this is really an exercise not just in skill, but really of control of yourself, of mental, emotional, visual, tactile presence, okay? So it's a really good way to train yourself, especially as you get to the 7 and 10 yards. All right, so Doc's gonna join me, which when I get the chance to tell you about Doc, you're gonna realize what a hero we have here, and I'm so honored to have him here. And he's a brother, I love him to death. So I'm glad he's here, and we're gonna both start these out untimed at 3 yards. Okay, so 3 yards from the holster. Okay, so Doc and I both went at the 3 yard mark untimed. Now we're gonna do it on a clock. Okay, now this is a randomized shot clock. It starts when the beep goes off, it starts. And then before that, as I hit the button, it goes off at anywhere from 1 to 4 seconds, so I can't really game it. It's gonna go when it goes, okay? I've gotta respond to the first beep. Then, again, it's sub 2 seconds or sub 5 seconds, depending on which card you're shooting at, okay? And we're gonna be doing that same time all the way back to 10 yards. Now, on this, if at any point in time you miss, the game is over, right? You don't get to go on. In this case, for the sake of just showing you guys what this is like, Doc and I are just gonna keep going, okay? But normally, right, this just tells you where your skill limits are and what are the things you gotta work on. So from 3 yards, concealment, sub 2 seconds for one, then sub 5 seconds for the other. Stand by. Okay, so 5 rounds from concealment, 5 yards, sub 5 seconds. Sub 2 seconds, 1 shot. Stand by. So now it's 5 rounds, right? Sub 5 seconds from 7 yards from concealment. Here we go. Stand by. Okay, so this is the big one, right? Okay, nothing is different. All you got to do is see your sights and call your shots. Really, when it comes down to it, this is a lot about shot calling. You're calling your shot, right? So if you don't know what that is, we have a video on that. You can look for Brian Hill, Tim Herron. There's a lot of people that talk about calling your shots. So learn about calling your shots. Again, stay mentally, emotionally, tactile, and visually present. Whew, my gun is so wet with sweat. All right, here we go. Stand by. I actually oftentimes find that the 5 rounder is actually easier than the 1 rounder because you have time to settle into this, right? And really feel it. All right, here we go. Let me take a look at my gun, check my gun on ammo. Okay, we're good there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, an important component there, if you notice what I did, is I saw every bit that I need to see in the dry fire practice of it, right? I took the amount of time to let my brain and my eye see what it should look like and where it should be. So what you don't do is just go out and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 at the speed with which you would actually do it all the way through completion. So you're cementing it in the brain, part of being able to practice well. All right, here we go, on the beat. Stand by. There's also a way to earn a Defenders USA patch. That's one of them. If you get it sub 4.5, that's a patch. That's a 407. It's probably about the second fastest I've ever done it in. The very fastest I've ever done this in right now is like a 3.98. The fastest I think I've ever seen this was by a guy named Mike Gallick, and I think he did like a 3.34, something like that. It was ridiculous, right? This is Doc Graham. truly somebody I look to as one, a mentor, and really a brother and a friend. He's a fellow veteran in the Air Force and did some pretty cool stuff. Not only that, this man's been a professional or semi-professional fighter. Professional fighter, right? MMA boxer type stuff. He's currently a boxing coach. He's been an optometrist or eye surgeon?
Both.
An optometrist and an optical surgeon. Ophthalmologist. And he's done a million more things that I can't remember it all. He's probably, I think, like Dos Equis or whatever that's called, the most interesting man in the world. More importantly than that, I don't know if you guys notice, if you can come on in, Doc, a little bit. If you guys notice what's going on with his glasses, he's got this tube right here, this little straw. And this is what you see through it, Doc.
Yes, sir.
So he's banged his head on people's fists a couple times, and he's whooped a lot of people. And due to things that have happened in his life, to include all the fighting, there's some eye damage, right? So he sees through this little thing. Now understand something. Doc just did, I think, an incredibly good job on this very hard test. And he's looking through really what I have visually. He has a fraction visually of what the average person does. Do you know how much?
I don't have any central vision, so whatever I'm looking at is gone. Like, you don't have a head now.
So he gets to see through that. Now think about this. He's using a handgun shooting at a modern day playing card, which is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches from concealment with a handgun. And he's hitting, if not the card itself, all right, he just hit 3 or something like that out of 5. And the other 2 that missed were so close that who freaking cares, right? And right, it's not only about just hitting that card, it's really defensive shooting, right? If you can keep your rounds here, you can certainly keep your rounds here, right? If you can keep your rounds here-ish or close to it, you can even keep your rounds here at great distance. And this is with a hero, a man I love, who's doing with extremely reduced vision. If I can do this, if Doc can do this, you can certainly do this. And I want you to pull inspiration, motivation from a man that I think all of us should get to know. So anyways, that's our test. Doc, thank you so well.
He's the kindest guy you've ever heard.
Only on Thursdays.
A check's in the mail to you.
So anyways, guys, that's our Defenders USA Ace Card Challenge. It's on our website. You can go download it for defenders-usa.com. Go to the tab that says downloads. I'm going to change that soon to targets, but go to downloads. You can find this along with some other targets. Go test your skills out. This is a fantastic test, and the instructions are right there on the target. You can print it off on your standard printer at home. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Doc, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you. I love you, brother.
I'll be back.
All right. See you guys.